So we're starting with الدرس الحادي والعشرون. So this is 21st. الحادي والعشرون is 21st. And this is a review. Okay, so it should be a review, fairly simple. And if you look into the text, the actual book, you will see this is also just like what we had in lesson number 11. We have a similar thing in lesson 21, which is a text. And if we have a time, I also want to review everything that we've learned with regards to the pronouns and conjugations using the handouts. Okay, I mentioned to you that the handout that I gave you, it's a very useful, extremely useful. It has a one-page chart of every pronouns and everything. So let us read the sharh first, and then inshallah we will do a full review. So it says, he says, هذا الدرس مراجعة. So he is also mentioning that this lesson is a review. مراجعة, it is review. لبعض الدروس السابقة, for some of the previous lessons. So number one, أسماء الإشارة للقريب المذكر. So demonstrative pronoun for masculine and something that is near, we say هذا. Okay, we say what? We say هذا. هذا فصلنا. This is our class. فصل is class. هذا مكتب المدرس. This is the desk of the teacher. هذا محمد. This is Muhammad. وهذا مدرسنا. This is our teacher. So this is the first thing that we learned in the lesson number one. And then we have أسماء الإشارة للقريب المؤنث. Now it is for something that is near, but for feminine. هذه. Okay, so هذه مدرستي. So remember, madrasa has a ta marbuta. Madrasa. Okay, so now we have to use feminine version, something that we've learned. So we say هذه مكتبة المدرس. So here he says maktab. Here he's saying maktaba. Maktab, he says maktaba. Does it mean that it is a feminine desk? With this tamarbuta? No. The maktaba is a completely different word. What does maktaba means? Maktaba is library. So this is desk. Now, remember, maktab can be desk and office as well. And هذه Maryam. So inshallah, I think this is very easy. We've done it. So we'll just read them pretty fast. Now we have al-asma al-ishara lil-ba'id al-mudhakkar. Now what's the difference? The difference is ba'id. So this is for far. So we say ذَلِكَ كُرْسِيُّهُ. That is his chair. كُرْسِيُّهُ, his chair. مضاف مضاف إليه. Okay, ذَلِكَ مكتب المدرس. That is the desk of the teacher. He's using dhaka here. This is interesting. So dhalika and dhaka, they have the same meaning. Okay, dhalika and dhaka has the same meaning, which is that. There are some subtle differences when you study a little bit advanced grammar. They will mention the distance. Some people will say, if it's a short distance, use dhaka. If it's long distance, use dhalika. Something like that. So it's not super important, but you should know that dhaka is also means that. Then we have asma'ul ishara lil ba'id al muannath. Now is the muannath. We say tilka makatibu at-tullab. So what is makatib? I think someone was you're just asking about the plural for maktab, which is makatib. So why are we saying tilka when we're referring to desks as a plural? Because of the golden rule that we mentioned, we treat plural objects as a singular feminine. This is plural object, we treat as a singular feminine. Now, and inshallah, we will come to know in the next lesson that this is also غير منصرف, ممنوع من الصرف. This type of pattern, masajid, makatib, okay, this pattern is ممنوع من الصرف, that means it doesn't take a tanween. Then we have يا المتكلم. So now he's shifting gear and he's talking about the first person. Yeah, how do you say mine? So we say هذه مدرستي. So this ya is ya of متكلم. تلك حقيبتي. That is my bag. هؤلاء أصدقائي. Those are mine. These are my friends. نعم. And then we have ضمير الجمع للمتكلم. So what is the plural uh, pronoun for the mutakallim, which is known with alif na? I think the chart that we'll review for from the handout, I think that would be much better because I think we have done this. That chart will be more useful because he will distinguish between the muttasil and munfasil. Okay, so here I don't want to spend so much time. So we say هذا فصلنا. This is our class. في فصلنا عشرة طلاب. In our class, there are 10 students. Please remember how to say the numbers. We started talking about numbers from the last lesson. We said that from 2 to 10, we use what? Sorry, not 2. I'm saying 2. I'm writing 3. Allah Mustaan. From 3 to 10, we use the form is idafa, and we use opposite gender uh, for the number. So remember, طالب is مذكر. That's why we are saying عشرات عشرات with the تاء مربوطة. نعم. Then we have الضمير الغائب للمفرد المذكر مذكر. So now the third person singular pronoun, which is huwa. So he's giving everything all at once, or it looks like it's all over the place. So as I mentioned to you, inshallah, when we go to that chart, that will be much more organized. Huwa faslun wasi'un. See, he's saying huwa. If we translate huwa as he, then our translation will sound pretty strange if we say he is a spacious class. Sounds kind of strange. So here, huwa would be it. فيه نافذتان. فيه نافذتان. In it are two. Remember our dual, two windows. Now, a quick question. This is a little bit, I think we talked about this one. So from فيه نافذتان, which one is مبتدا? مبتدا is نافذتان. مبتدا is نافذتان. This is indefinite. We cannot start with indefinite word in a sentence, so we have to switch the order. نعم. فيه سبورات. Okay, فيه سبورات. In it there is a board in it. Now, then we have ضمير الغائب للمفرد المؤنث. Now, third person, feminine singular. We say here, هي قريبة. It is near, or she is near. Here we don't know. Here, because we don't have a context, it could be it can be she as well. But it says here madrasatun kabira. We cannot translate as she here because we're talking about non-human. So you'll say it. It is a big school. Laha thalathatu abwab. Again, your numbers. Okay, Bob is masculine, so your number is feminine. Okay, so it has 3 doors. Laha here means it has. Then we have ضمير الغائب للجمع المذكر. Now he's going to talk about the third person attached pronoun, whom. So we say karasiyuhum. What is karasi? Karasi is the plural of kursi. Huh? Kursi, which is chairs. Very good, Ahsanti. So their chairs هم من بلاد مختلفة. They are from different countries. So whom. So as you can see, both subject and possessive pronouns, they spell the same way. لغتهم مختلفة. Their language is different. Oh, sorry. Now I know why it's not making sense. Because it's not لغتهم, it is لغاتهم. Because remember, لغة tun is a singular. So how do you make it plural? لغات. لغات. So we have the plural version. So now it makes sense. Their languages are different. Then he talks about منعوت ونعت. ما معنى منعوت ونعت? Huh? نعت is what? Adjective. And منعوت is the noun that the adjective is describing. Very good. Noun and adjective. أحسنت. So we say مدرسة كبيرة. So this is منعوت. منعوت, this is the one that the نعت is describing. So this is نعت. Remember, Naat will copy all four things from the man'ut. What are the four things that it will copy? Hmm? Well, that's a very good way to remember. Let's see what she means by that. Ding. So this is a definiteness, I'm assuming. Definiteness. Uh, this is a gender, maybe, right? Gender. This is the number. And I maybe stand for Arab. Arab, yes. Okay, very good. So that's it. So you remember ding, and then you make sure that you copy everything from there. This is the first time I heard this. Useful. So we have to copy the definiteness. Indefinite. So this is indefinite. This is feminine. This is feminine. This is marfu. This is marfu. This is singular. This is singular. هكذا. Uh, so فصل واسع نافذتان كبيرتان. So this is where you see the numbers are matching. So this is 2, this is 2. So you cannot say نافذتان كبيرون or كبيرتون. It's not going to work because you're not matching the number. But remember that when we have plural for objects, we use what? We use singular feminine. So you might be thinking that gender is not matching here. No, gender is matching because of that rule. So we also study mudaf, mudaf ilayhi. So we have ثلاثة أبواب. So remember, this is number, but a number عدد and ma'dud we use for 3 to 10, we use إضافة. مكتب المدرس, our classic example, the desk of the teacher. So I'm not going to read everything. Then we have mubtada wal khabar. So this is also a review. We also learn mubtada and khabar, subject and predicate. So we say هذه madrasati. This is your mubtada, mubtada, and this is your khabar. Now, something that I did not mention last time. If I were to ask you, what is the definiteness of this word هذه? Definite or indefinite? It is definite. Now, what about madrasati? Hmm? Madrasati. Definite or indefinite? It is definite. It is also definite. Madrasa, just madrasa is indefinite, but once you add any possessive pronoun, it 100% becomes definite. Okay, so when you mudaf ilayhi is definite, then the whole idafa becomes definite. So you know the pronouns are always definite. So now we have a problem because what we said is that subject, remember that's why you always use the term default, standard case. We said mubtada is always ma'rifa or definite, and we said the khabar is indefinite. And that's how we know something is a sentence. Because if I were to say al-walad, al-waladu, al-jalisu. So now it is, you know that this is not a sentence because you're looking for subject to be definite and predicate to be indefinite. But when both of them, you're thinking this is an adjective, right? And you will be right. This is indeed an adjective. This is not a sentence. If you want to make a sentence, you have to remove, get rid of alif lam. You say al-waladu jalisun. Now it becomes a sentence because of the definite and indefinite. This is extremely important that you know that nominative sentence, you have subject definite uh, and predicate indefinite. But what's going on here? So here, two things you have to know. Number one, you can have idafa as khabar. Okay, so this is also possible. Another thing that you might also get confused when you use pronoun and a proper name. So we say, for example, huwa Muhammadun. Muhammadun. Now this is definite. This is definitely definite. So now what's going on? It looks like a adjective because they're matching. No, this is not. Although everything else matches, you have the gender is matching, you have the number is matching, you have the i'rab is matching. This is marfu, this is also marfu, but they're not adjective. This is a sentence. So remember, when you have a proper name followed by a pronoun, this is a sentence. Makes sense? So this is also a sentence. So these are some subtle things. In the more advanced grammar, we'll have proper discussion. I don't want to get into the discussion. Just keep that in mind. So this is a sentence. هذه مدرستي. This is my school. And here قريبة. So that's easy. We have a definite and we have indefinite. Boom, it becomes a sentence. And remember also what we said about the agreements. The khabar has to match the number and the gender with the mubtada, not the definiteness. There are exceptions to everything, guys. Inshallah, when we study the types of khabar, anwa al-khabar, then we will see the khabar can be many different things. Inshallah, we will study them later. Then we also studied al-muthanna. What is al-muthanna? Muthanna is the dual. So we say nafidatani. The word was nafida, nafidatun, nafidatun. So how do we say two? Nothing to it, just add alif and noon with kasra. So we say nafidatani. You have the spelling right here. Remember, in the dual, you do not remove the tamarbuta. But in the feminine plural, you do remove the tamarbuta. Dual is easier. Just add alif and noon. Then we also studied harf al-jar, which is the preposition. We say fi, and these are very basic things. We studied them. After fi, ism become majrur. So fil madrasati, fi fasli. So you have to know what to do with preposition. So, we have these things, we have seen them before. Abwabuha, so mudaf ilayhi. Fasluna, so yeah, fasl is mudaf, na is mudaf ilayhi, and all of these things. We have, see, this is interesting, the way he is doing this one. This is also precise. He's saying, look, هذه is the mubtada and madrasati. The whole thing is khabar, but if you really go a little bit more precise, what happens? The madrasa is the khabar, and that is the ism marfu, and mudaf ilayhi is the ya al mutakallim, and that is ism jar. فهمتم? These details you don't have to know. If you say whole madrasati is khabar, you're good. Look, your mubtada can be idafa phrase. So you can say maktabul mudarrisi kabirun. So this maktabul mudarris, the whole thing is the mubtada. Mubtada. And this kabir is khabar. But now if you zoom into a little bit, then of course you can say maktab is the mubtada and mudaf ilayhi is khabar. So that's all. So it was a pretty good reviewing. In fact, I did not realize that he will be reviewing some of the grammar topic as well. So what he wants to say that you better know what harful jar is. How do you use them? Preposition and what is its grammatical implication. So after preposition, we have ism majrur. He wants to tell you that you have to know the adad, the numbers that we have studied, especially from 1 to 2 is always adjective. You say one book, two books as an adjective. Kitabun wahidun. So you see wahid coming just like an adjective. Okay, kitabani. What do you say? Wahidani. Oh, sorry. Wahidani. You got confused. Kitabani ithnani. So ithnani is what exactly, exactly like an adjective. So if it was the noun was feminine, you would also have to use feminine version of the number. So for example, you say hakibatun wahidatun, not hakibatun wahidun, hakibatun wahidatun. Hakibatani ithnatani, just like an adjective. But from 3 to 10, it is idafa phrase, and the gender has to be opposite of the ma'dud. The adad needs to be opposite of the ma'dud, something that we studied last lesson. If you are not sure, watch the lesson again. And then we have a muthanna, something that he also wants you to know, that you better know the duals, mubtada and khabar. These are all grammatical topics, mudaf, mudaf ilayhi, naat, and man'ud. So these are all grammatical topics that you need to know. So with that, what I'll do is I will read the text, actual text, and then inshallah we will go back to the handouts because I think that handout will be very beneficial, inshallah. But before I do that, I want to read the lesson itself. So we have Ad-Darsul Hadi, Al-Hadi wal Ishrun, 21st lesson, and the title is Madrasati. And wallahi, if you have a different book where you have all the haraka, I still, especially for this one, I strongly suggest find this copy, the one without haraka, it only gives you few of them. Try your best to put every single haraka, including the spelling. Okay, take your time, put the haraka, and especially check yourself about your grammar by putting the proper haraka at the end. If you can do these things, you have passed this book without a doubt, because this text, it will review a lot of grammar rules, things that we have studied, as well as the vocabularies that we learned. Okay, so something, inshallah, you should do it. I don't think I'm going to put all the haraka here, maybe a few of them here and there, but something that inshallah you should do by yourself. But I'll read it. So it says, هذه مدرستي. Very simple. This is my school. هي قريبة من المسجد. So هي قريبة. Okay, قريبة من المسجد. And now you don't have to say the default, how we started off. You can use the proper term. So why are you saying قريبة as dhamma? You have to think to yourself, because you tell yourself, because this is khabar and khabar is marfu. If you can have this kind of communication with yourself, you are in good shape. Then we have minal masjidi. So now you have jar and ism majrur. After preposition, it becomes majrur. Hiya madrasatun kabiratun. Now you ask yourself, why am I putting a tanween, dhamma state? Because it is not. Not is supposed to copy man'ud. See, I'm also trying to use the grammatical term. Now, if you cannot use the grammatical term, don't worry about that. Those terms will come later. But as long as you know this is an adjective, you can pick up an adjective, and that's why you're copying the i'rab, the ending, you're good to go. Laha thalatha. Here comes the issue. What do you say here? Do you say thalathatun, abwabun? It has 3 doors. No, now you have to know your numbers from 3 to 10. So it has to be mudaf, mudaf ilayhi. As soon as you say mudaf, mudaf ilayhi, if this is mudaf, you know there is no way in this earth that you're putting a tanween in the mudaf. Never ever is going to happen. So instantaneously, you remove your tanween. And the second rule of idafa is the mudaf ilayhi is majrur. So abwabuha. So now you go back to abwab. Here's abwab was abwabin because it was mudaf ilayhi. But now this is a subject. So you go back to your marfu. Say abwabuha maftu. What do I put here? Huh? Maftu what? Maftuhatan, maftuhatun, maftuhatin. Raf, marfu. Very good. Maftuhatun. So this is khabar. Now the a little bit tricky question. What do I put here? This is something that we haven't studied properly. It will come. It will come, inshallah. I don't know if it's in book 2 or book 3. Proper discussion will be in book 3, 100%, but you will see these things a lot in book 2 as well. Yes, it is a fatha. Why is it a fatha? Tell me. Yes, very good. Fatha mansub. Why? No, it's not an object. In order for it to be object, we need a verb. There's no verb. It is what? It is dharf. Yes, it is the what is it called? Adverb, maf'ul fihi. So a dharf. Yes. So whenever we talk about time and place and we use it as a adverb, we have to put it in a fatha. Don't worry about this one. If you did not get this one, I have no problem. We haven't studied this. But you can keep that in your mind as well. Then we have في المدرسة فصول كثيرة. Now you tell me why do we have كثيرة? Because فصول is plural for فصل, and we just learned plural of object treated as singular feminine. هذا فصلنا وهو فصل واسع, and this is a spacious class. فيه نافذتان كبيرتان, your adjective نعت and منعوت. وفيه مكاتب وكراسي. I'm not going to discuss a lot of things about this type of words. Inshallah, next class, all the entire class, we talk about غير منصرف, ممنوع من الصرف. What are the words that cannot take tanween? Now, just if you're looking at this one, you might think, wait a minute, is this a mudaf? Why am I not seeing any tanween? Because you know that when you don't see a tanween, your brain automatically start thinking that this is probably mudaf. Here it is not. It is what? It is. Who can tell me what this one is? What is the role of makatib? Simple. It is what? Mubtada. This is your mubtada. And this is your khabar. This is mubtada. And you know the mubtada is marfu. Very good. Mubtada is marfu. But we cannot put tanween because this is one of the type of words that cannot take tanween. Makatib, karasi, madaris, masajid. You will see this pattern of plural. It will not take a tanween. Same thing with karasi. So karasi is kursi, makatib is maktab. سبورة فيه سبورة كبيرة. نعم. مكتب المدرس مضاف إليه. هذا. So this is هذا مكتب المدرس وذلك كرسيه, and that is his chair. وتلك مكاتب الطلاب وكراسيهم. Now, because it's plural, we're using singular, but we still have to translate properly in English. We will say, those are desks of the students and their chairs. I have to go a little bit fast here. في فصلنا عشرة طلاب. Take a note of the numbers. وهم من بلاد مختلفة. Okay. وهذا محمد وهو من اليابان. وهذا خالد وهو من الصين. وهذا أحمد not أحمد وهو من الهند. وهذا إبراهيم وهو من غانا. وهذا this is alif, so we cannot put any haraka to begin with because alif doesn't take any haraka. وهذا إسماعيل وهو من نيجيريا. Okay. وهذا يوسف وهو من إنجلترا. I hope you know every single word what he's saying. I just don't even feel like at this stage in 21 lesson to even translate these things. It's so simple. Now, وهذا bayramu. Bayram, it is a name. I think it's a very popular name in Turkey. As far as I know, it means holiday. Bayramu وهو من تركيا. Okay, Turkey. He's from the Turkey. وهذا عمار وهو من ماليزيا, and he's Ammar and he's from Malaysia. وهذا علي وهو من أمريكا. وهذا أبو بكر. So remember, Abu Bakr is two words. So this is مضاف إليه. And subhanallah, we never got to properly talk about these words. I feel bad. I know the book will talk about them in book two. These words came a lot. These are one of the five words in Arabic language. They're Arab, they're rough state, they're marfu and mansub and majrur. It's a little bit different. It's not with the dhamma, fatha, and kasra. It's with letters. So this wow is telling us that this is rough, marfu. Aba Bakrin. This alif is telling this is the fatha. And you say Abi Bakrin. This ya is telling this is a kasra. Okay, so same thing with akh. Now, wahua min al Yunan. What is al Yunan? Anybody knows? Greek, right? Greece, something like that. And then he says, hum min biladin mukhtalifa wa lugatuhum mukhtalifa wa alwanuhum. Ma mana alwan? Hmm? What does alwan mean? Colors, excellent. So lawn is color and alwan is color. So their colors, what? Mukhtalifa, their colors are different. And here's interesting a word, walakinna. I wish he put the haraka on this word because I don't think we had this word before. Walakinna. Okay, walakinna, but remember there's a little bit hidden alif as well. Walakinna. So what does lakinna means? Anybody knows? What does it mean? However or but. Yes, but or however. Very good. Now, this topic will be the first topic of book 2. These are part of something called inna wa akhawatuha. Inna wa akhawatuha. So you have inna, anna, ka anna, lakinna. Here's the lakinna, laita, la'alla. So these 6 huruf, they are part of this group and they have different ways of dealing with them. Inshallah, we'll learn them. Starts with the first chapter of Madinah book 2. Okay. Yeah, I see what he's doing. Okay. So he's clever. Because if he say lakinna, then his i'rab is wrong here. If he say lakinna, then his i'rab is just wrong. It has to be a fatha here. You'll learn them in the next book. But if he used the lighter version of this, walakin, the lighter version, then that's fine. Okay, pretty tricky stuff. So we have a walakin here. So then you can say walakin dinuhum wahidun, but their religion is one. وَرَبُّهُمْ wahid, and their Lord is one. وَنَبِيُّهُمْ wahid, and their prophet is Nabi is one. وَقِبْلَتُهُمْ, and the direction is one. Hum muslimuna. Remember how the spelling goes. Muslimuna. So this fatha does not mean that this is a fatha state. Remember, we talked about this one. This is waw and noon to make it plural. So this waw and noon is dhamma state in itself. So that's why the author, Musannif Rahimullah, is not going details into the Arab or the ending of the the duals and the sound plurals because they're a little bit tricky, needs a little bit of understanding. And I think even in the book 2, he will talk about them somewhere in the middle of the book 2. Wal Muslimuna ikhwa, and the Muslims are brother. Then he goes on to say, هذا مدرسنا, this is our teacher. اسمه الشيخ بلال, his name is Sheikh Bilal. وهو وهو من المدينة, and he is from, you can, if you translate he is from the city, it's probably not what he means. He means the city of the Prophet, Medina al-Munawwara. وهو رجل صالح. Rajul is man, Saleh is righteous, so he's a righteous man. نحن نحبه كثيرا. We, again, نحب. Now, I think we talked about this verb. This verb is a little bit tricky. The past tense is ahabba. You should know this verb. It's a little bit a tricky verb, but we use it a lot. That's why author is, I think he used this verb a few times. Ahabba, this is the past tense. The present tense is yuhibbu. 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 So most of the time, this book only deals with the past tense, except for this verb. I think this verb he used present tense many times because we want to say, I love this, I like that. So this noon is we. This ya is he. So you say uhibbu is I. Uhibbu. Inshallah, you will have, entire semester dealing with the verb conjugation, especially the present tense verb in the second book. So we don't want to spend so much time, but just know that nuhibbu means we love. So when we say, and it's a little bit interesting because this ha, it is not the subject, it is actually object as well. So this ha is the object. So we love him. This, if you want to translate this whole thing, we have one whole sentence. We love him. So all of these things are in here. Now, nuhibbuhu, this who is him. Inshallah, we will talk about them in the book too. Kathiran is a lot. Now, so that's your reading. Now we have some as'ila. So we say mughlatun abwabuha al-ana am maftuhatun. So this is a little bit tricky construction. So you're asking, is the door closed right now or open? So inshallah, I think this hamzatul istifham and this type of or question when you ask, you have learned them. It's a little bit tricky. The order is important. So I have a feeling we'll learn them, we'll study them. I just don't want to start a new topic in this lesson. Yeah. This is also a question. أكلهم أكلهم من بلاد واحد? Are all of them from one country? And we also talked about how do we use kam, right? We mentioned to you that after kam, you have a singular, but you also have in mansub, meaning in fatha. Please make sure you know them. Now, first thing you should do is try to see if you can translate and then you see if you can put the haraka, and then you can see if there's anything else you need to do. He wants you to write some of the names of the country. اذكر البلاد الواردة في الدرس من آسيا وإفريقيا وأوروبا. So mention the countries al-warida. Al-warida means that appeared in this lesson from the Asia and the Africa and Europe. So you can find those countries' name. He mentioned a lot of countries' name. And you have al-kalimat al-jadida, maktab, makatib, okay, al-lawn, alwan. See, I told you the version that he's using with the sukun, walakin. And then we have al-kursiyu and karasi, qibla, and this is also you have to know something that I mentioned. Dhalika and dhaka is the same thing. So with that, alhamdulillah, I think we're done with lesson number 21. If you have any question, you can ask, but I will show you the the handouts. I'll show you the handouts. So this handout is available. There's no copyright. They're saying right on the top of the page that there's no copyright. You can use them any way you like. And may Allah reward them for that. So here in the page number 9, what he does is that he explains the, you know, all the pronouns, everything that we have learned, everything in one paper with the explanation. And now if you read them, you will appreciate the whole information. So we have dhamir, munfasil, which are the subject pronoun. Okay, they are used for the rough state. They are marfu. So huwa, huma, hum. So you memorize huwa, huma, hum, hiya, huma, hunna, anta, antuma, antum, anti, antuma, antunna, ana, nahnu. So these are your dhamir munfasil. Remember, dhamir munfasil are always subject. And then we have dhamir muttasil. These are the connected pronoun. They can come in two different ways. Number one, the one that we used is for the possessive pronoun. Okay, so kitabuhu, or you can say kitabuhuma, kutubuhum, their books. So, we've done this, all of them. So now you have everything in one page, if that's something that you've been looking for. He's emphasizing this ya, and he's saying ya al-mutakallim. Believe it or not, all of them has names. Every single one of them has name. But the one of them, at least you need to know ya al-mutakallim, because this name will come in the grammar a lot. Because other one doesn't have any special grammar things that we need to deal with. But ya al-mutakallim has a lot of grammatical notions. So maybe you want to memorize this term as well. Ya al-mutakallim. The ya of mutakallim means speaker. It's a standard word. You can say ana mutakallim. I'm speaking. I'm the speaker. So ya al-mutakallim means the ya of the speaker. And please read these things, is very useful. Then what he does that, look, he gives you the entire chart with different words. Same, here he explains. Now here he gives you examples. So if you want to see everything at once, here you go. Huwa kitabuhu fi kitabihi. Subhanallah. So he also give you the preposition, because we did talk about that what happens for these for this who, it will change into a kasra if you have ya with sukun before it, or you have a kasra. And also we talked about all of them. This ila, this alif maksura will become turned into a ya when you attach a pronoun. We have talked about all of them. Guys, please pay attention to this one. You have another page. Now he's doing with more pronouns, because the pronoun conjugations can be a little bit tricky. As you can see, there are some few variations. And subhanallah, look at these guys. They also highlighted some special cases, something that you may have to pay attention. Now, study them. It will be extremely beneficial. Remember, this la, the actual preposition is li with the kasra, but as soon as you add a possessive pronoun, it becomes la with fatha. Lahu, not lihu. Now it is your turn to fill them up. You have empty spaces. Please at least do some. At least do some. Especially if you're doing this thing for the first time. If this is your review, depends on how good you are. Now, in the previous pages, what he did is that he did verb conjugations. When you memorize the pronoun from this pattern, like huwa, huma, hum, hiya, huma, hunna, then look, the first one you have is the most base case. So dhahaba, dhahaba. So let's do the easy one, the one that I'm pretty sure we have done it. So dhahaba, this is the third person, singular, masculine, he. Then we also learned that all the ta permutations. The tas are easy. Dhahabta, dhahabti, dhahabat. Where's my dhahabat? Here's a dhahabat, and dhahabtu. Where's dhahabtu? Automatically, how many pronouns do you know? One, two, three, four, five. The second part, what I do is I look into the plurals. Okay, so let's do all the plurals now. So we have dhahabu. This is your they. Then we have dhahabtum, and you have dhahabtunna, and you have dhahabna and dhahabna. Remember, that's a very tricky one. Dhahabna is we went, and dhahabna is they, feminine, went. So the pronunciation does make uh, a difference here. Then the third layer, what I will do is I will use the duals. Dhahaba, dhahabata, dhahabtuma, dhahabtuma. All of these things will come in the book two. Book two will give you every single one of them again, because book two will deal with the verbs conjugation a lot, especially with the present tense verb, and it will go into weak verbs and all the other things. So now you have everything in one shot. It is very, very useful once you learn them. Okay.